The Bishopric of Verdun was also a state of the Holy Roman Empire. It was located at the western edge of the empire and was bordered by France, the Duchy of Luxembourg, and the Duchy of Bar. History. This fief also included the advowson of the Church of Verdun over its possessions along the river Moselle. According to a chronist's report, written around the year 900, the Merovingian king Childebert II came to visit Verdun. There was not enough wine to serve the monarch and the bishop Agericus was very embarrassed. However, God rewarded him for his good deeds and miraculously increased the amount of wine. The king presented Agericus of Verdun with the Schloss Veldens as a fief of Verdun, because of the wine. Around 1156, Frederick Barbarossa confirmed the holding by Bishop Albert I of Verdun of the castle together with the surrounding land. A story that Peter, successor of Medalvaeus, was granted temporal lordship of the diocese by Charlemagne, but this is no longer accepted. Because of the destruction of the archives in a fire, Bishop Dadon commissioned the Gesta Episcoporum Virogunensium from Bertharius, a Benedictine monk. This was continued to 1250 by a second monk, Lawrence, and later by an anonymous writer. A key element of Emperor Otto I's domestic policy was to strengthen ecclesiastical authorities at the expense of the nobility who threatened his power. To this end he filled the ranks of the episcopate with his own relatives and with loyal chancery clerks. As protector of the church he invested them with the symbols of their offices, both spiritual and secular, so the clerics were appointed as his vassals through a commendation ceremony. Historian Norman Cantor concludes, under these conditions clerical election became a mere formality in the Ottonian Empire. The Bishop of Verdun, appointed by Otto, was totally faithful to the emperor. In 990 Bishop Hymant ordered the construction of a new cathedral on the Romano-Rhenish plan. A nave, 2 transepts, 2 opposing apses, each one flanked by 2 bell towers. The Holy Roman Emperor Otto III bestowed the title Count on Bishop Hymant and his successors in 997. The bishops had the right to appoint a temporary count for life, theoretically subject to the authority of the bishop. These counts were selected from the noble family of Ardennes. There was frequent conflict between the count and the bishop. With the marriage of Philip IV with Joan of Navarre, the daughter of the Count of Champagne, Lorraine and particularly Verdun become a primary focus for the crown of France. After 1331, appointment to the episcopal see was controlled by the King of France rather than the emperor. The bishopric was annexed to France in 1552. This was recognized by the Holy Roman Empire in the Peace of Westphalia of 1648. It then was a part of the province of the 3 bishoprics. Bishops. 4th century California, 346. Saintin, 356 to 383. Saint Maurice, 5th century, -420. Salvinus, California, 440. Areta, 454 to 470. Polychronius, 470 to 486. Possessor, 486 to 502. Freemanus, 6th century, 502 to 529. Vitonus, 529 to 554. Desideratus, 554 to 591. Agericus, v.595. Charameres, 7th century v. 614. Hieronymus, -621. Ermenfrid, 623 to 626. Gondo, 641 to 648. Paulus, 648 to 665. Gislold, 665 to 689. Jerebit, 689 to 701. Harmonious, 8th century 701 to 710. Agrebit, 711 to 715. Bartholomeus, 716. Abbo, 716 to 722. Peppo, 722 to 730. Vulcicis, 730 to 732. Agronius, 753 to 774. Medalvius, 774 to 798. Peter, 798 to 802. Ostrom, 9th century 802 to 824. Kierland, 824 to 847. Hilduin, 847 to 870. Hatto, 870 to 879. Bernard, 880 to 923. Dado, 10th century 923 to 925. Huai 925 to 939. Bernan, son of Matfried I, Count of Metz and of Landesind, 939 to 959. Berengar, 959 to 983. Wigfrid, 983 to 984. Q2, 984 to 984. Adalbero I of Verdun, later Bishop of Metz, 985 to 990. Adalbero II of Verdun, 990-1024. Hymond, 11th century 1024 to 1039. Regenbit, 1039 to 1046. Richard I, 1047 to 1089. Theodoric, 1089 to 1107. Richard, 12th century 1107 to 1114. Richard II of Grand Pré, 1114 to 1117. Mazar, administrator, 1117 to 1129. Henry I of Blois, deposed at the Council of Chalon, 1129 to 1131. Ursio, 1131 to 1156. Adalbero III of Chiny, 1156 to 1162. Albert I of Marseille, 1163 to 1171. Richard III of Cris, 1172 to 1181. Arnulf of Chiny Verdun, 1181 to 1186. Henry II of Castel, 1186 to 1208. Albert II of Hierges, 13th century 1208 to 1216. Robert I of Grand Pré, 1217 to 1224. John I of Aspremont, 1224 to 1245. Radulf of Torode, 1245 to 1245. Guy I of Trainel, 1245 to 1247. Guy II of Mellot, 1247 to 1252. John II of Aachen, 1252 to 1255. James I Pantaleon of Court Palais, 1255 to 1271. Robert II of Madiden, 1271 to 1273. Ulrich of Save, 1275 to 1278. Gerard of Grandson, 1278 to 1286. Henry III of Grandson, 1289 to 1296. James II of Rouvigny, 1297 to 1302. John III of Richericourt, 14th century 1303 to 1305. Thomas of Blankenberg, 1305 to 1312. Nicholas I of Nerville, 1312 to 1349. Henry IV of Aspremont, 1349 to 1351. Otto of Poitiers, 1352 to 1361. Hugh III of Bar, 1362–1371, John IV of Bourbon-Montpellier, 1371–1375, John V of Dampierre Street, Dizia, 1375–1379, Guy III of Roy, 1380–1404, Leopold of Cousins, 15th century 1404–1419, John VI of Saarbrücken, 1419–1423, Louis I of Bar, administrator, 1423–1423, Raymond, 1423–1424, William of Montjoy, 1424–1430, Louis I of Bar, administrator, 1430–1437, Louis of Harcourt, 1437–1449, William Philiter, 1449–1456, Louis of Harcourt, 1457–1500, William of Harcourt, 16th century 1500–1508, Warry de Domartin, 1508–1522, Louis de Lorraine, 1523–1544, Jean de Lorraine, brother of predecessor, 1544–1547, Nicolas de Mercœur, nephew of predecessor, 1548–1575, Nicolas Somme, 1576–1584, Nicolas Busmard, 1585–1587, Charles de Lorraine, 1588–1593, Nicolas Boucher, 1593–1610, Eric de Lorraine, 1593–1601, Christophe de la Vallée, administrator, 17th century 1610–1622, Charles de Lorraine, nephew of predecessor, 1623–1661, François de Lorraine, brother of predecessor, 1667–1679, Armand de Monchy-d'Auquincourt, 1681–1720, Hippolyte de Bethune, 18th century 1721–1754, Charles François d'Alencourt, 1754–1769, Aymar Fr. Création Me, de Nicolai, 1770–1793, Henry Louis René Desnos. Until 1801 Verdun was part of the ecclesiastical province of the Archbishop of Trier. On November 29, 1801 it was suppressed and added to the Diocese of Nancy. On October 6, 1822 the diocese was re-established.